Got it. All right, you're all good. You're all set.
Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Sutton Sewer Commissioners meeting of December 2020. As a preliminary matter, being the chairman, Neil Kreitz, permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated agenda are present and can hear me. Jack, you're here, correct? Jack, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here, yeah.
Okay. Don,
Yes.
Carl?
I don't know.
Darlene?
Yes.
Thank you. Carl, there you are. Can you hear
I
me?
can see you, but I can't, no voice connect.
All right. Well, let me continue on here. Good afternoon. This open meeting of Sutton Sewer Commissioners is being conducted remotely, consistent with the Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, due to current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor orders suspends the requirements of open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted and the agenda meetings material for this meeting, allows the public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long reasonable public access is afforded to the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The meeting ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, Neil Kreitz, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of the members, inviting each by the name to provide any comments, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. This time, starting off the meeting with the review of the minutes of our last meeting, which was held on November 4th, 2020. Each one of us had a chance to read that over. Jack?
I'm all set with it, Neil.
Okay, Carl? I guess we're still having problems with Carl voice. All right, so I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as they posted with
Second.
no objection. Carl, has passed, and Carl will, I guess, obtain a signature at that point. Is that Donald work for you, Carl? I assume he's there.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Second on the agenda today is abatements. I see that we have a few. Donald, a few of them look interesting to me. That do we need any explanation beyond your comment that's over there?
no. Usually about 95% of abatements are due to wrong readings. And that's exactly what most of these are from. And again, I mean, once we get the readings from the water department, Darlene process them, and then when the bill comes into question, it brings us to where we are now, abatement. So it's kind of
Yes.
out of our control.
Yeah, I know we talked, but I was just saying the word overcharged is basically because of a misreading. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, correct, yeah.
Okay. Is there any discussion on any of the 6 attached abatements, Jack?
Just on, is it 295 the minimum for a half year? Is that what it is, Don?
That's correct, yes,
And so you bill them twice a year?
that's correct.
And then when do they do the meter readings? The meter readings are done prior to the billing, obviously, but,
Well, what's happening like in Wilkinsonville, they gone to quarterly meetings, readings. They kind of get 2 routes broken up. So we
Yeah.
had to change our concept on billing on that there. But usually it's in May and then May, December.
And of course, their water meter readings, Jack, that we
Right.
match up.
so like on 222 Whitens Road, is that like a 2-family house? Is that what that is? A
Right.
duplex?
Right, that's right.
So,
Yeah.
so he got charged for the whole year on one bill, basically.
Yeah, right. That's correct. I don't know if he's converting that over to a single unit, but we determine how many units based upon how many electric meters are on the house.
Oh, okay. That's the guy who has the gutter business, right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. No, I think I understand. I can see how it could happen too. I don't know if there's a way to avoid that. How do you avoid that?
That's, yeah. I know in the past where we had a similar situation where they just converted the 2 units into one. And again, I mean, just by removing electric meter. I mean, that's the only, really can't, the homeowner's going to say, yeah, it's only 1 unit when
Right.
really it's not, according to the assessor's office is also labeled as a 2 unit. So there's a process they have to go through. You know what I mean? And it's mostly through the assessor's office.
And if you're using the water reading, is this does this indicate sometimes this when they have missing water, you know what I mean, when the water numbers don't add up? How am I trying to explain this? Like, if, for instance, if you have a leak in the water, you could go over your sewer bill, right? Because you base it on how many gallons, right? I don't know how many gallons it is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're allowed 30,000 gallons per unit in a 6-month period. If you have a running toilet, that will double your bill.
Yeah.
I mean,
And is that indicated by any of these overcharges? Is that something that's happening? Or?
no, it's just the readings that were forwarded over to us were wrong.
Okay, all right. That's it, Neil. I'm good.
Okay. Still, Kyle, are you with us or not? Voice-wise, picture-wise? Okay.
Second, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
But I can't, you don't see me.
right. Have you chance
I
to
can
look
hear
at the
you.
abatements, Kyle?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Would you like
And,
that motion if you have satisfied with them?
oh yeah, I looked them over. I didn't see anything I could question.
Okay. So, I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Jack?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those will be signed for you. Town
Yep.
hall, right, Donald? Next on the agenda is our annual budget. And this is, Don, this is our first draft of the budget before it gets sent over to Jim.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm sure this is just a preliminary budget, but the numbers ain't gonna, if they're gonna change, it's gonna be minimal. And usually Jim goes over everyone's budget and he'll dock it up here and there. Salaries are not included. Don't know what's going on with that yet. So I mean, we always submit a budget without salaries in it, wages and salaries. So I mean, what you see with the total amount, if you get from down below, that's not going to change. So what we did, we added a budget $15,000.
All right. And that's based on the new connections that were all last year as well for collecting funds for the whole year.
Right.
So-
I mean, just like, I mean, just like Jack was just saying there, I mean, our minimum bills is $590 a year, for residential. So, I mean, that's all we can apply to the budget, knowing that's what we're going to be receiving. And with the exception of, was it IBA and Prime Metals, right? I jacked that up a little more, especially with Prime Metals. I figured we averaging about maybe 2,500, maybe to 3,000. So
Okay.
that's what I did with the budget on that there. So we're talking about over 200 employees, so I'm assuming the bill's going to be, higher than average. And I won't get, just like with Walmart and anything else, I won't get a true number for 1 year till we go through the cycle of the two billings. Your summer billing, your winter billing. So I really don't know, but I feel comfortable with the numbers I plugged in there.
All right. Kyle, do you have any discussion on the budget that's in front of us? It's pretty standard from last year.
No, the only question I had is probably on the next topic on the meeting. But it's going to go with 15,000 more than the 866,000. That doesn't sound right. But did you hear me?
Yeah. The 866, Kyle, plus the 15. Right.
15 foot.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means that we're still going to go. If you could just explain to me what the CWMP is, I'd be. What is that? What is that? Was that thing that we covered last couple of months ago?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's what's all going in. That's gonna get forwarded over to DEP, and I believe that the town planner has done that.
We've already spent 4,100 of 17,000. We're going to spend another 17,000 on the project.
I believe we're all done with that.
I think it's zero, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And the 50,000 for pipe, that's the pipe that goes cross country into the Millbury processing, right? Or Millbury pump station.
Yeah, you're right. That they want to do a study on the transite pipe that's going through the Valley Court properties, but I guess we're waiting to see what's going to be happening with that aggregate. I guess there's some movement on that, and we'd like to probably run a new line to the town of Millbury through that property, because some of that property from the aggregate is in Millbury. So that'd be the way to go. We could probably abandon that line that goes down to, right. Abandon that line with a new one.
So it won't be as much as 50,000 then, will it?
This is just to do a study. That's all that 50,000 for.
The 50,000 for engineering. Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That was put in by the town, Carl. That wasn't really done by us.
All right. All right. I just went in. Okay. It's hard to write. Okay, yeah, it came up to 15,000. Yeah,
Right.
now I can see how you did that. All right. That's fine. Oh, no, wait a minute. I had another question. Explain the, where the heck is that? Where is it? Oh, Jesus. Where is it? Where is it? Contract state. Okay. Other support. Town of Millbury. Oh, that's the one that we pay for the gallonage and stuff.
That's correct, right?
And expense B. What's expense BU? What the hell is that?
That's the expense budget for at the plant here. That's all my sludge hauling, my
Oh,
chemicals.
okay.
That's all taken out of there.
Oh, indirect cost. Is that on there too?
Yeah, the indirect. Yeah,
89,000, huh?
yeah. Well, that was put in way back when Josh Hamburger was the town administrator. That was all implemented
Well,
then.
he screwed you good, didn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, the problem there. That's when there was no new growth coming in, and the only way for us to meet that is that the commissioners had to raise the rates, and that wasn't a very popular decision.
No, it wasn't that.
But
Yeah,
they-
but wouldn't you think that maybe we could, go into it again and see if you can get some, you only got three employees, you and Darlene and the gentleman that works, they're a full-time guy. I would think, indirect cost is like the insurance and the health thing and whatever, uh,
Right.
other departments, how do they help you or help to the sewer department? But
Right. Well, that's
I would
just
think
it.
89,000 is kind of stiff.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, for the last 3-4 years, they were talking about raising it, which I'm not a fan of that. So right now, I guess everything's into this. Everyone's got a piece of the pie in this thing here. The highway, various salaries, fuel, insurance. They just threw everything into there. So
It's a percentage factor, Donald, is it not?
It should be, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's the same thing you went through with Millbury. You got some of the cost knocked down and
Right.
I
I
don't
guess
think-
the only two departments that really have the indirect costs is us and the transfer station. And I don't know if that's because we're an enterprise account or something like that there. I never really pursued it. I mean, the commission at that time wasn't very happy when it was implemented, but we did what we had to do. And right now things just seem to be stabilized. And as long as, there's no hidden costs, anybody starts jacking anything out, always the commission's goals and goals were don't raise the rates, and I have to commend them for that. And I guess I agree with 110% on that.
Well, yeah,
There's
speaking
really
of
no
that
need.
too. But right now with the how many, well, I'll save that for the next time. I'll save that for the next item. Okay. All right.
Hey, so Donald, it's a point here is, I remember the indirect cost discussion was pretty in-depth when it hit us, and basically we had to, it's something that's there, and we understood all the details with it back then. And as Donald said, gentlemen, it's been a fixed fee. They haven't really raised it in the last couple of years, and we did assess Millbury's indirect costs. That was in part of Millbury's budget, and that got adjusted a little bit after understanding what they were trying to assess us for.
Right.
So we're paying a piece of the pie to operate the town of Sutton overall, which, as Donald said, includes a lot of, basically the pens and pencils as well. So I don't think it's something that we're gonna have much to be able to discuss on or really make any changes on. We agreed to it back. It's been more than 4 years, right, Donald? 5?
Oh yes. It's
Yeah.
probably close to 7, 8.
Yeah. Okay.
This was implemented. Yeah, I got Mr. Chairman. I just like to make one point there when we're discussing this about the growth and the indirect costs and so forth. My concept's always been on new growth. New growth will stabilize our billing. That's all it does. It ain't gonna lower the billing. And what it is, everything with the price going up with electricity, we really don't have a handle on, and everything else like that. New growth will only stabilize our billing. And so, I'm very, very adamant about that, and I fully believe in that. It's we're not going to lower the rates down. You know what I'm saying? So even though as long as the indirect cost, we handle that very well. And again, that's my concept on new growth in regards to the sewer department.
And over the last 5 years, it's gentlemen, it's the new growth has really done very well for the budget and kept us right in line, and which has also allowed us to take some emergency funds right direct from the budget as maintenance as well, direct.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not, that's right, Neil. That's perfect. What you said is right. But in actuality, this operation is very lucrative to the town. But the only thing you can use in capital expenditure, I'm not talking lowering the rate or anything, is what you take in on connections and certain fees, licenses. I don't know if they give you, I don't even know if you get credit for the license. The drain layers license. So to me, then, is if you run into a shallow time of growth, your capital expenditure is determined by how much you didn't take out of the difference between I'm going to call it the profit between the revenue that you got less your expenses. It comes down to a lump sum, but there's also a different fund that you can take, which takes into consideration only what you picked up in new connections. That's all. And it's almost 10% of whatever you do. So.
Well, as Donald mentioned, I understand what you're trying to say there, Don, but the budget is based on the user fees as total gross income for the budget,
Right.
operating budget. And then the rest is being part of the capital, goes into that fund.
Legally or written in the law is the only thing you can use
I think we lost him.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, Donald, do you understand what I was just saying there for Jack to understand too? Basically, your budget is strictly on user fee income, and everything else falls in that category, such as the connection fees.
The enterprise account, correct?
Right.
Well, the enterprise account is two things. It's the enterprise account is the money that you collected from your installation of connections. If they pay you the $5,000 fee, and that's not part of it is part of your enterprise fund, but part of it is taken out, and it's another fund that he keeps separate. So that means that right now you got $176,000 in that fund that you can spend the 60,000 or the 80,000 that you need to get the valves and stuff, and update the pump stations. So that's all I'm saying. So you might run into a situation where if you're not getting enough money you just can't use all that money up either, because then you'll have to start borrowing for your capital funds.
Well,
You could end up like right now I think there's a pretty good bunch of homes being built up. I just look at Mendon Road, and you got 7 houses in about a quarter-mile stretch, but they're not going to site into the sewer systems, because it'll be a gigantic amount of money. So that's just just wait, be careful. That's all.
I have a quick, this 89,000, the indirect expense, that's assigned by, is that assigned by Jim or?
Yeah, that was not him per se. That was all incorporated prior to him coming on board. When Josh Hamburger was here, they were looking to balance the budget, and that's when they assessed that to the sewer users.
And that basically covers things like the other things that go along with the salary, insurance, and workers' comp, and all
right,
that.
Right. Well, they figured how much time the town administrator puts into the sewer budget. Part of his salaries are there, the town counted, and so on and so on.
You take a portion of the expenses of the other services
departments.
down. All right, I get it.
That's
Keep
correct.
the town operating, right?
Right.
All right.
All right, enough said.
Any further discussion on,
I just have one question on the Millbury, the fees paid to Millbury. Have they increased over the past few years?
Jack, I've been going on here for 16 years and I haven't got a handle on it yet. You know,
Have you got,
Right,
have you
it's
got
true.
all the,
no. We get our, we just got our last quarterly bill from them from last year in
Yeah.
September. So now all our books are closed and everything, and it's just an ongoing process with them. And I have no clue.
So they write it on a piece of paper and slide it across the table? So you-
No, it's
not even that?
no, I mean, it's pretty. I mean, April, May, and June from the previous year, waiting for a bill. All of a sudden, it comes in September. You know
I
what I mean?
suppose, my point, I suppose, would be that if Millbury were to increase their fees, that you could, demonstrate, then that you'd have to ask the question about raising rates. I know you don't want to raise rates, but if that was a fixed cost that was going up, then you might have to do something, so.
Well, our obligation to the town of Millbury is based upon percentage of our flow, of the
Yeah.
total flow
Right.
that's pumped up of Blackstone. So
Right.
so from quarterly to quarterly, it could be 9%, 12%, 15%, depending on what the flow is. And that's what I've been questioning, is the accountability on flow. I've been
Right.
questioning that for the last 10, 15 years. And, there's really no way of justifying it. It seems like, the town of Sutton's a small fish in a big pond with Upper
Right.
Blackstone.
Right.
The problem with that is I think the only one who has accountability in regards to discharge is the town of Sutton. And even all the members that belong to Upper Blackstone, we're at the end of the fiscal year, Upper Blackstone calls them and says, how much did you pump to us? Now, I find that kind of ironic there's no accountability on what you discharge to us. It's all based upon merit and all that.
There's
And
no
I
check.
don't know. Yeah. There's
Jack,
You
if-
st-
if-
You
Jack, if
still
get a
have two
chance,
readings, right?
copy of the invoice, you'll see how they're breaking it down, Millbury to us quarterly. They have an indirect cost as well, but then they got the gallon flow percentage factor, and also getting that percentage factor relates to their administrative elements, the operation and so forth.
Right.
So there's like 4 line items, correct, Donald? Roughly on
Right,
that
you're
bill?
right. And
Yes. So
the
get a
only-
copy of it, Jack, so you get a little view of that.
yeah.
Yeah. Don, just to remind you, Darlene, we kind of at one time set a point that the members would get a copy of every invoice that comes in to be in the next available meeting, just for review. Not that we necessarily would discuss it, but I'd like to see that we still get them, to see it for the
Right.
fluctuation.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Neil. Here we are in December, and the only bill that we've got forward to us was last year's quarterly bill. We haven't got nothing this year at all from regards for
You mean
Nothing in-
since July?
since July. We haven't got
I
nothing.
didn't, yeah, okay, so we did get that one. I remember that one coming in.
That's the
year
last
end.
one we got.
Yeah, they really run behind, Jack, on that, and we don't know why they have to be so far behind. But that stops
So-
us from having a final number on our annual report too.
Right.
Until very close to the last minute.
Don, you still get the pump readings that goes to the Millbury side, right?
No, the only time I get that pump readings is when I get my quarterly bill. They get ours,
Yeah, they get ours, but does it match with,
No, even if you look on that budget right now that I just proposed to you, it says the town of Millbury, the full appropriation is still there. You know what I mean? So, which means we haven't processed anything from them because we haven't received anything. Now, again, my issue, my concern is that there's no accountability. That's my concern. And, we're gonna have to try to work something out with them on either installing a meter or something like that there. But, Neil knows what I'm talking about. I've been
Hey, I
indicating.
think I
this
know
for
about it too.
years.
We went there and talked to him.
This goes
Right.
back quite a few years, Jack and Carl.
Right.
I feel Donald is correct. It's very difficult to understand what they're trying to accomplish over there, but we did see a big change when they changed some operations over there, and there was some improvement. And our town accountant was able to get, along with Jim's help, get some adjustments made. on the indirect costs. So we understood exactly what they were billing us for, in the details. So since that happened, we were a little more satisfied. But the timing of the invoices, we're not sure why it takes so long for that to happen. But I'd like to take that discussion maybe to a future meeting. We have a lot on the agenda, and if everybody can be of any further items that you'd like to discuss in the budget, we can do so now.
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
At this point, on this particular draft, I'd like to give Donald our approval to move forward with this for the next fiscal year. So I'll make a motion that we pass the budget as projected at this point. And Donald, I believe we get another one in January, right? After Jim finalizes it?
That's correct. I could have it the first week in January, right?
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Budget is approved, Donald, to move forward with.
Yep. Thank you.
We look forward to that final numbers. Next on the agenda is Donald's got some proposed articles. And you gave us a brief memo, Donald, on these items that you'd like to sponsor. And so why don't we take one at a time? And is there a particular one you want to take the first one in there for roughly estimated costs for the the pumps and motors? This is actually right at the plant, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, well, I kind of, the majority of it is for the plant. The rest is out in some of my pump stations. I need to upgrade my pumps and all that. But
Okay.
We had an incident here, like maybe 5-6 weeks ago, where an actuator inside of a tank failed, and that it was a big crucial part of meeting the permit. I mean, when this actuator went in the tank and all that, I just happened to have a spare one here at the time there, and I made a brief discussion with Jack on this here. Is that what happens is that once we get that installed, whatever, it's only days before we get it back online. It's but in the meantime, it just, the valve wasn't opening and closing. It wasn't decanting. The problem with that there is meeting the permit. But we just so happened that we had one. I had a spare on hand. However, when I went back and ordered the next one, the waiting time was 6 to 8 weeks. So if I didn't have that spare on hand, I couldn't wait 6 to 8 weeks to get it in. You know what I mean? In regards to hoping for the process every 8 hours to go through. So it's just an example of what I mean by it's important to have some of this stuff on hand when it's related to the day-to-day operations and all that. So. And again, that was a $14,000 piece of equipment. So we ordered it. It came back in. So I'm all set for the next one. So it's just a couple of things I want to keep on hand here in case some unforeseen breakdowns in the future.
All right. Before I ask any discussion on either one of these things, the next item was upgrading the Commerce Park generator. My curiosity here is, I know that town has accepted that into our portfolio as far as owning it. And how does the natural gas become a cost factor to us for changing it over? Is the gas line right there, or does somebody have to bring it to it?
But they're bringing it to the park as we speak. The lines are already across the bridge. If you look right on Whitens Road and the entrance to Commerce, the natural gas is putting a 12-inch line in there.
Okay.
The issue that we got at Commerce Park is that prior to me even coming on board, all this was already in place. You know what I mean? The generator was there, and so
Correct.
Well, we've been having issues with the generator there, and the gentleman that came out there that I spoke to said that this generator is definitely undersized for the new impact on that whole Commerce Park. Prime Metals, IBA, that's just it's definitely undersized, and that's why we're having issues up there. So that's why I just threw that out there and say, well, seeing natural gas is coming over there, going with natural gas and propane is where it's at. But so, I mean, if I was to upgrade that, that's what I was referring to, the natural gas.
All right, so basically what you're saying is the gas line's gonna go right by our generator.
Right.
So, and that's not a cost to us except for connecting to it.
That's correct. Right. It's a matter of just replacing that whole generator there.
Right.
Any discussion on either one of these items, Jack?
Is the generator that's in place there, that was part of the original construction for Gilmore Drive, right?
Yeah, that was Mr. Clue's project. That's correct. Right.
So they paid for the generator when it went in, is that?
That's correct. Right. That was all in place when we got there.
And then the
We just
town
accepted
accepted it in its condition, whatever it was then, right? I mean, this,
I believe that was taken into tax title, Jack, and all that there. There was a lot of paperwork into that. And I think that's when the town took the whole project over.
right.
And that-
I suppose my question is there any monies that could be recouped from the owners in the park?
No, they
Uh,
have trouble paying for the lighting. No money pay for the thing there. The street lighting. So
No, do they have like an agreement to pay for to pay for services in there? They must pay for plowing and stuff, right? Or does the town do that?
I don't know what that. I would say no, not now.
No.
Town accepted it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything outstanding like that there. So
And so the other question would be, if the generator is undersized, it still works, right?
oh yeah, definitely yes, yeah, definitely.
So I mean, so the old generator probably could offset some of the cost of a new generator, I suppose, right?
No, they
Some
probably find another use to it somewhere else in that. There, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would you use that as keep it as a spare? Is it the same size as some of your other generators?
Yeah, it probably is. It's just that it's gonna be there's more workload on it now. I mean,
Yeah.
they can go with a couple shifts now. I mean, right now it was fine when it was Monday through Friday there. You know what I mean? There was nothing going on, and the generator was perfect. But now with the impact of the flow and so forth, and the more strain on it, it's just
Well, you brought up the point about the actuators and the pumps, you need to have some redundancy. You should have some of this stuff available to you. If you can't wait 6 weeks for
Oh, definitely not
it'll
right.
be a disaster.
Well,
So everybody will stop flushing their toilet in Manchog for a couple of weeks there. We'll
Wow.
see.
I'm worried about the state asking me what's your license number.
Right.
That's what will happen. You know what I mean?
I'm good, Neil. Thank you.
Okay. Carl, any discussion?
No, I don't have any, no, it's perfectly natural, when you had
Well, I'm
Yeah.
very
you had a
glad to
shady
s-
type of they didn't do their due diligence to see how big a, piece of property like that, what would they invite in here?
Well, the plan was a complete changeover from the original
Right,
plan.
right.
There was gonna be one large Home Depot set up in there,
Yeah, that would have been
That was gonna
perfect,
be
yeah,
it.
but that goes away and stuff.
but it has changed use quite a bit from what it was originally started overall.
So we're very
including the-
fortunate to have that
Yes,
piece there.
and the variety of use too, including a church being up
Right.
there. So I have no objections with either one of these articles, and the board will be sponsoring these, Carl.
I imagine we will be, yeah, it's our property.
So I'd like to see if entertain a motion on we'll have to make 2 separate motions for each one of these articles.
Yeah.
So if Jack, you would like to give us a motion on one of them?
Well, I'll move that we put forth an article to replace the generator at Gilmore Drive.
Okay,
that what
I
you-
second that.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. All right. Approval for the article for the generator replacement on Gilmore Drive should be granted. And Donald, that will be signature required at the next meeting or? down the line?
No, articles don't have to be until March. I know that we
Okay,
talked
so we
about
got
this-
some time? All right.
Oh yeah, we got some time. That's right, and that's why
Okay.
I want to give a little more time on these motors and actuators on an actual thing too. You voted on a generator, but you haven't really said anything about the actuators and motors and everything. So
Yeah, we're gonna do that as a
Me, that's a-
separate, separate vote here.
Right.
Carl, would you like to make a motion on that?
Sure, I think it would be appropriate to make a motion to, we're not replacing anything, are we? We're just making sure that we don't get in trouble if something goes down, right?
Right. It's more of, right.
So, it's just a housekeeping deal so that we can't, it's not the same wording as we did the last time about a year ago. It was the replacement because things were all stopping. So how do you put it?
You can read it as it's written, Jack, on the memo. I'm sorry, Carl. I can see Jack.
I will be
can't see
proposing
Carl,
an
so
article for motors, pumps, and wastewater treatment plant. Not. What the hell?
I'll take care of it. Let me get the emotion out for
Let
you,
me
Jack.
let me
All right,
muddle
Kyle.
that up, because you're going to use it for inventory. You're not using it for use right away,
Right. Well, what I need, Mr. Chairman,
which is a need. You got to have a second
well,
set of valves.
Neil, what I'm going to do, it's only December. It doesn't have to be into March. I just wanted to bring it to your attention there. I got to finalize the numbers on this and get the actual areas that's in need, or in the equipment that I need. So we've got some time to roll on this thing here right now. It's something we can even talk about in February if we really had to. You know what I
Well,
mean?
is there any, I'm just concerned if anything becomes a little more, we've still got a lot coming up with the expansion of the sewer time-wise, and I think if we can get this resolved now, it seems like Jack and Carl are in favor of this at this point. So I'll make the motion that we authorize an article to for the waste treatment plant for pump stations at an estimated cost of between $60,000 to $80,000 for the actual motors, pumps, and actuators for the wastewater treatment plant and pump station in Manchester. Should I have a second?
That's it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so Don, feel comfortable with both those moving forward with them?
Yes, I
Oh,
do.
yeah.
I just like to get you more concrete numbers, but this is all,
Right, when we write the article, we'll take a look at it again.
yes. Okay, that's good.
All right, so you can move forward with the details for you. Next on our agenda is any correspondence. Darlene, are you still there with us?
Yep, I'm still here.
Do we have any correspondence from you or anybody from the outside world?
No?
Okay, Donald?
Yeah, well, Mr. Chairman, there's one area you just missed. We just talked about proposed articles, but then the next one was the sponsoring of an article. I separated the language articles from the financial articles. The sponsor of that article was the wildflower that to clean up the
Yes.
language.
Well, he knows.
Okay.
You can talk to Jim about that. He's got it on his books. I can tell you that.
Okay, well, again, but that's the only reason why I broke it into different articles. The sponsoring article was to get that language.
I understand that, Don, and so we'll actually take that up and right now. So the sponsored article is about the wildfire, 7 wildfire,
7.5, it's 7.5.
which we discussed pretty extensively at the last meeting, if I correctly.
Yeah,
Darlene, I think that was in our notes
That's
and minutes
correct.
of the last meeting.
Yes.
Yes. So Don, just tell us what you are proposing right now as the article itself sets.
Well, I mean, the way it's left on, Mr. Chairman, is that Jim and the town council was going back and forth. I think it's a matter of us to stand on top of it, to have it, make sure it gets on there for the annual town meeting. And right now, it's just language that needs to be written up by town council. So,
Okay, so we, if I remember correctly, correct me please if need be, but I remember we discussed it pretty clearly last time, and we were all in favor of taking the action needed at that point. So you're just a matter of the language to be for sponsoring that article, and that will be via the selectmen, or will it be the board members?
Well,
Right.
we should make the article, number one.
Okay.
Which, and Jim would have, Don, you can get Jim to help us
Yeah,
put it in,
definitely.
whether it's going to be eminent domain or whether it's going to be a tax title thing. You know, the damn property is still in tax title. And
Right.
nobody's done anything for 11 years when they should have done it 11 years ago. So,
Right. I mean,
of course, the guy went broke anyhow. So,
well, I just wanted to bring it to the commissioner's attention, Carl. Make sure you guys are all on board. I'll
I am.
take everything on my end of it, and I just want to make sure that I think I agree with Carl. The sewer commissioners will sponsor this article.
Okay. Well, I would like to, we'll put this down on our next agenda and see if we have any language for it.
Yeah.
To see which direction we're going in. And we'll put it down as a sponsored article by the sewer commissioners. And I believe everybody probably in agreement of where we stood last time, as well as the discussion today.
right.
So if on our agenda, Darlene, next month, if you would please actually say that address along with the sponsored article.
Okay.
It'll give us all time to think about that before our meeting. So to clarify on moving on, there was no correspondence from either from Darlene or from Donald, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Under old business, by Zoom meetings, sometimes it seems like a long time between the old business and new business. So I don't really have anything much at this point to follow up on, except Kyle, I believe you still doing a little research on the generators list and so forth. How are you making out there?
I mean, the pump stations, yeah,
Yes,
it's all done.
okay. Can you get me a copy of it?
I'm going to put, I'll bring it in. Well, if they let me go into the town hall, I'll just drop it right down there.
Okay, yeah, and she can email it to me. And Jack,
Oh, I can make copies of it if that's what you want. It'll be just like it'll be in the town hall with our book of rules.
yeah, but I'd like to see, have possession of one.
Okay.
I mean, if you give it to Darlene,
I'll
can
give
you
it to her.
scan
I'll
it?
just give it, I can make more I got all photographs and everything else. So.
Are you able to do it via email and send it to all of us?
No, I'll make the copy. I'll work with,
Okay.
I'll work
Darlene,
with
if you
Darlene and
kindly
I'll just make copies.
forward it out?
Forward that, yep.
Okay,
All right. I'll just bring it up and just make copies of it. That's all. It's all
Very
together.
good. Any, I haven't seen that final draft yet. I don't have any much to say other than that, other than bringing it up under the old business. Is there any further items on old business anyone has?
None for me.
Carl?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Donald?
Oh, I'm good.
Good. Okay, moving on to new business. I would just ask Donald if he wanted to give us any kind of insight of what is happening. We know that things are slowed in the community, along with all the communities with this COVID-19. However, seems to be some progress moving on some of the developments. How are we making out with the one on Armstrong Road there? Is it Westgate? Or,
We're on Onsbury Road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from my understanding, that's all on hold. And
okay,
I don't know if he's planning on selling the rights or selling all that. I don't think he's really. It wasn't on that fast pace as it once was. So
that was the 98 condos, correct?
that's correct. Yep.
So that's on hold.
Right.
How about,
Yeah. Yes, Carl.
I was gonna ask Don if he has a take on, actually, there's a lot of houses going up. Are they in the right place, like in Manchog or in Wilkinsonville, or did anybody new in Manchog sign up?
Well, there's really nothing going on in regards to sewer connections. You know, there's a couple of houses here and there's for sale that's going to be tied in, like a handful of them. But as for any new developments and that, it's all outside the scope of Manchog for the sewer.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one thing. I know we discussed it very briefly the last time and asked about the new project that's at the Galaxy Plaza, and that's the car wash. Now, remember, it's reclaimed water, I believe, recycled being used. What impact is the actual sewer going to be? Is it going to be just facilities for the employees? How's that going to be budgeted?
I mean, you were talking about the car wash is yet to be determined. You don't really know because they got a well there. So we really, are you referring to the discharging?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's yet to be determined. I know
Okay.
that we get a meter on the municipal aspect of it, but I required them to put one in on the
On the well, right?
well, so I know what's going on into our system, how much they're drawing out and how much they're discharging. But supposedly this is recycled water they're going to be using, so it's all new to me. So we just have to monitor and see.
But that will be part of a requirement from the town of Sutton that they have to put that on? Sewer department's requirement?
Well, we're gonna in regards to referencing or monitoring it.
Yeah, monitoring.
Yeah. The water that we had talked to the water district, they're gonna read the meter for us. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Forward that over. But as for the discharge and all that, yeah, that'd be monitored by us. You know, there's oil and gas separators there and things like that there. So you have to stay on top of that. Make sure it's done at least once a year. You know.
all right. Any other business on the new business, gentlemen?
None
Carl,
for me.
Jack,
None for me.
all right. Don, how you all set, everything?
Yes, I'm all set with everything. Thank you.
All right, Darlene would like to come, our next meeting day would be January 13th,
Okay.
2021. Can you believe that year's here?
Mhm.
I did believe it, huh?
Thankfully.
Thankfully. Well, let's see if, and I'm assuming we'll still be on Zoom meeting at that point. So 2 o'clock is still satisfactory to everybody?
Yeah. Fine.
That's
Yeah.
the 13th, Neil?
Yes, the
Okay.
second Wednesday of the month. Try our best to stick with that schedule if we can.
That's good for me.
Okay, I appreciate everybody's changing today's schedule for me because I was out of town until just last Friday. So we're 1 week later this particular week. With nothing else to do, I'd like to hear a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
I want to wish all you guys a good holiday. Merry